Welcome everyone to Total Non-Stop Impact Talk for Impact fans. It's right here on the TNI Network. This is the trail of my co-host, Payphone and the Truckster, and this is NWA-TNA number 82 on Time Machine Tuesday. This all sounds very deja vu for some odd reason. I don't know why. Maybe because this is a restarted episode, or maybe it's not. I don't even know what the hell just happened. Anybody? Am I the only one feeling odd feeling of deja vu in the air? Is that just me?
It's testicle difficulties.
Testicle difficulties? Is that what you just said to me? I'm going to leave it at that. All right. Well, all right, real quick, just full disclosure. We just restarted this live broadcast because, actually, Truck, why don't you tell them what happened? You'd probably be the most diplomatic one to do this.
It's Groundhog Day, which is a fantastic movie, and we're all really enjoying this experience because it's a learning opportunity. That's all this is. It's a learning opportunity. It's an opportunity to grow. It's an opportunity to learn things about ourselves. It's an opportunity to practice stoicism and humility and grace under pressure.
Wow,
does that capture it, Trent?
Very diplomatic with that. I would have been like Mark's fucking stoned ass hit the off switch when he tried to pop into this goddamn broadcast for no reason. Even though he told us, I'm not going to be on the show, guys. But he comes in here and he literally ends the broadcast on us. I would have said that. But Truck is way more diplomatic than I am. So anyway, we're starting over.
Mark, I tried. Everybody, I tried. You heard that?
We're starting over. And I'm going to act like none of that happened. So I'm going to ask you guys the same goddamn questions I just did a few minutes ago. So we just hit the restart. The bell indicates the restart. Here we go. All right, gentlemen. February 18th, 2004. NWA-TNA number 82. J-Bone, any news? Anything coming out of this week, though, before we jump into the review? Anything major happening out in the world of Impact Wrestling?
Well, I mean, there's a company that works with Impact Wrestling that has some kind of big stuff going on this week, But I mean, Impact's got a show later this week, and it's all on the same day. The wrestling universe is probably going to explode on Friday. There's Emergence. That's going to be fun. And then there's a little show called Rampage that's happening after that. And
Kiara had her debut, AEW
right.
Didn't she?
Oh, yeah.
Was that tonight?
She had a match on Monday, and she had a match tonight, I believe.
Oh, so that's two. Okay.
Yeah.
Off to a good start.
Yeah.
So Kiera Hogan already at AEW. I think this is. I'm convinced.
I don't think she's hired though.
What's hired there? I mean, it's like indie bookings. Here, come wrestle for us now, and we'll eventually give you a contract. I guess. I think. I'm convinced the company is literally just completely impacts the territory for AEW at this point. I'm convinced they're subsidizing them like Vince did with ECW under the radar. And that's what's going on. I'm totally convinced that this is what's going on now. That there is some bigger link that we don't know about at this point. So I'm sure of it now.
Are you one of the 4 people out there that actually thinks that Tony Khan is going to buy Impact from Anthem?
Eventually, I think he will. Eventually he will.
So that astronaut meme.
Yeah,
it's all still territories. Always has been.
So before the restart, we were talking about that amazing astronaut meme with the always has been. And that's a perfect one for it. Like, wait a minute. It's all still territories? Always has been. It's fucking Khan. I think always has been. Son of a bitch, man. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. Jesus. I mean, they're all in bed with each other. I mean, this champion's making appearances here and there and whatever. It's like, that's what it is.
I just hope everybody's using protection.
Everybody's fucking everybody. Truck is what's going on. Nobody's using protection. You don't use protection. It's more fun doing them that way without protection.
Does that mean we're gonna get a bunch of little mini baby wrestling companies popping up in like 9 months?
Yeah, just a bunch of shitty territories popping up.
Period. It might not be 9 months.
Wait. That's usually it's like 90 days. Yeah, it's a little different.
Yeah, 90 days for that. That's how it works. But anyway, we're going to jump into this Time Machine Tuesday. Thank you guys for staying a little later after the restart had to happen here. But Let's jump in. Well, I'm still gonna do the shtick though. So February 18th, 2004.
Christmas.
Now I was on my buddy Dave's couch, 4 days removed from a shitty breakup, or a shitty Valentine's Day, where I was probably, from what I remember, I was breaking up with a girl on Dave's couch via old school Motorola Razr text message, where you had to hit each button several times to get a letter. So it was a very invested breakup. And I think I'm watching this TNA episode and breaking up with this girl at the same time. That's what happened. So I'm pretty sure that's when it happened. It's 4 days after Valentine's.
This makes you sound like such an asshole.
I'm like, sorry, I can't even do this in person because
I'm watching TNA.
Yeah, because I need to find out who the new fucking director of Authority is tonight. Okay, all right. So go kick rocks. I gotta figure out who the hell Mike Tenay's bringing for the DOA tonight. Anyway. J-Bone, what's going on with you, Ron?
You were harder on her than R-Truth was on Tracy Brooks tonight.
Whoa. Yeah, they really took it to her tonight, man.
They do every week, every time she comes out. I mean, she's still got that cast.
Oh, it's definitely a broken wrist, no question about it. But man, they were mean to her on commentary too. But anyway, go on, J-Bone. What were you doing on February 18th, 04?
Let's see. It was a few days after Valentine's Day / her birthday. Her birthday was the day before.
Oh, terrible.
So I'm probably, crawling across the front lawn in the snow, picking up rose petals with holding a stake on my eye, and then sadly sleeping on the couch.
That's awful. Now
it doesn't get much more depressing than that.
So Truckster, this is 4 days after Valentine's. I know this sound. We just did this shtick, but I need you to do it again. Okay.
Should I tell a different story? Just make something up. Nobody's doing that.
I want you to tell this one because I really want to emphasize the fact that you were totally just smashing all across fucking Canada.
I was not. I absolutely was not. The story, and it's barely a story. In January, my first real girlfriend and I had moved in together because we were both going to the same university. So we're still in the honeymoon phase of the relationship and just enjoying being disgustingly coupley all hours of the day while pretending to go to class and get a degree.
It's very lovey-dovey. Go on. I'm listening.
I can picture this. Like there's some like crazy pop music, and they're just holding hands, skipping across the campus. No, she drops her
You're not
books.
Far off, Jay. You're not far off.
She drops her books. He picks up the books and carries her to class.
No, Jay. They both went down to pick up the books at the same time. They bumped heads. Like,
meet cute. You're gonna meet cute.
Silly. No, Chuck, I want to ask you something. Since I like to peel the layers of the onion back every time we talk here, I need to know: are you the type? Are you call the other significant? Are you a babe? Are you a honey? Are you a sweetheart? What are you? What's
we had pet names. Yeah. We had pet names. Yeah, absolutely. We had pet names.
What did you call this particular ex? What was her pet name?
Oh, I'm going to do this because I want to keep you in a good mood. It's hard for me to say this. Kitten.
Kitten.
Yeah.
Kitten.
Ever call her Kitty? Kitty? Or just Kitten? Oh, is it always formal, Kitten or Kitty?
Kitten. Very formal. Yeah, very professional.
Very nice. Look at that. Truck. I mean, Truck, he's a pretty tough guy, but he's got a soft side to him. I like that.
Oh, it was hard to share that, Trent. I haven't said that out loud in like 20 years.
Truck, I take a lot of flack from my former relationships on this show. I mean, more so on Thursday, which I don't have to deal with anymore. Okay, I don't deal with that the drama of my ex relationships. But on this show, I still take a lot of flack for it. But Truck, I'm gonna start because you mentioned there were several stop-offs along the way.
I don't remember saying that.
Yeah, well,
you can't prove it. That video doesn't exist anymore. It's gone.
Video is on private. J-Bone never deleted
Thanks,
it.
Mark.
several dozen stop-offs between that and Mrs. Truck. So what we're gonna do is every week we're gonna uncover another stop-off is what we're gonna do here on Throwback until Throwback is over. And according to what Truck told me off the air, folks, there's enough stop-offs to cover the remainder of the Throwback episodes.
Shut the fuck up. God, why do I say anything?
This is for all those...
I don't even remember most of the names, okay? I'm going to be honest.
Look at that.
I'm going to have to go back to some books here. I'm going to have to dig up some records
This
And
is
I'm like, I don't
exactly
know
what I'm
that
talking
person.
about. He is such a goddamn pimp, J-Bone. I can't remember their fucking names.
I mean, I thought I was bad, in my 20s when I would just, get,
We're talking about truck here, Jay. But I'm not here to put you over right now, okay, Jay? You immediately taking the spotlight from truck right now.
Please do, Jay. Please save me.
I was a smasher too back in the day, boys. Back in the 50s, J-Ball was really easy to do it back in the 50s. All right, let truck have this for a second. Come on, man.
I wish you wouldn't.
I mean, it honestly doesn't make me feel, so bad about getting blown in the front seat of my car while cops are like slowly driving past me.
Here we go. You could have just let truck have it tonight. All right, we're gonna.
I can match that, Jay. You want to go shot for shot with me?
No, we're not doing it on Throwback. This is a respectable show. We're gonna do that on Patreon, where we can complete pieces of shit is on.
Let me know.
That's for Patreon, but.
Okay.
I'm waiting.
You let me know.
Did he just talk about getting blown? You went shot, and you said we'll go shot for shot. This is unbelievable. You two are. We should have just kept the other version up of this episode. It's a fucking disaster already. Fuck. All right, let's jump in, guys. Let's just get into this. All right. Let's just
please. Let's talk about wrestling, please.
Please, yes, we will. Yes, we will. All right, good guys. NWA-TNA number 82. We get a recap of 80 and 81. Start that off, kind of get a couple new fresh interviews, things like that. And it's Mike Tenay was fired, so it's Scott Hudson on commentary with Don West, who's in Red on Red this week, talking to Tenay firing. Opening contest is an 8-man match. Tim Wilkes doing the ring announcing because Jeremy Borash is still fired. It's the most random collection of guys in the ring. They open up and it's like Shark Boy, Useless Move Jason Cross, Roderick Strong making his main show debut, and Jimmy Rave sitting there looking extremely confused, like, who the fuck, like, who put us together? But hey,
they didn't even get entrances. They're just there.
They're just there. They're just a bunch of bums in there. Even though Sharky had a nice little run earlier, Shark Boy's been there.
And he gets another one.
Yes, yeah. Shark Boy's Shark Boy's there. And they're taking on Team TNA, Jerry Lynn, Sonjay, Dutt, Chris Sabin, and as Scott Hudson likes to call him, Elix Skipper, not Elix, Elix Skipper. These guys lost last week to Team AAA, so they're trying to get like a win back. Okay, what I said on the last take of this crowd fucking sucks.
Yeah,
this crowd blows. And Sabin, I know you're in the chat. If you can put your comment back in here, I really would appreciate that, because our buddy Sabinite, who was at all these shows, was saying how this was like the last straw. Because, dude, I can see why the ICP, the Juggalo crowd here could give a fuck less to these guys in the ring. We're too wrapped up in their own bullshit the whole night. And like I said, sometimes they're nice and loud. It's like, cool, you're keeping a little buzz in the air. But this shit, like, they were not reacting to anything. Anything. And I was like, what are we doing? Like are you guys even wrestling fans? Are you watching the show? Watch the fucking show. At least have a good time with the show. Nothing. And
garbage fans.
Garbage. Jerry pins Jason Cross. Then the Jarrett crew comes in and guitar shots Jerry. Jarrett fires Jerry Lynn and makes Elix the new captain of the team. Which,
congrats, Elix.
Congrats to Elix. But he said he's gonna take over the show tonight. No one's gonna have a spot. If you don't commit to him, the whole shtick, right? If you don't sign your loyalty to me, blah blah. And addresses Chris Harris, who last week was like a pretty vocal guy against Jarrett. Addresses Chris Harris and says, tonight, Chris Harris, you can lead by example. If you want to be a tough guy. And he challenges him. He said, fine, take your spot. I'll challenge you tonight. And you're going to have your match tonight if you want. If you accept, you get your match tonight. Now, I want to read this comment by Sabin here. He says, this is definitely the last straw for ICP and TNA. Cash's antics later are a shoot. All wrestlers we spoke to were fed up and in the worst mood we've ever seen because of how they ruined the show. This is very evident. Now, what I said earlier was you couldn't tell that Kash was a shoot because everything he does looks like a shoot, which I love about him. But now that I look back, you can totally see because he's like spitting at the fucking crowd and yelling at him, and he looks like he started the match with like a nice body, like a cross body to the outside. But I don't think they were expecting it, so I could see all that. Crowd fucking blows. Absolutely blows.
The throwing the loaf of bread at the crowd was priceless. I've never seen.
So I didn't see that. When did that happen?
Oh yeah,
Right at the beginning.
that was when he first hit the ring. He just lobs it in there, and it just hits the audience and kind of explodes, and then like a third of a bag comes back to the ring. And
this is interesting here. This is another thing to keep note of. And Sabin, I bring this up next week too. So it's a really tense time for TNA. You have the Juggalos rooting segments. You've got the infamous Punk versus Teddy Hart scuffle that happens at the restaurant the next week.
Yeah.
Then the ROH Rob Feinstein scandal. This is very interesting stuff that happens here. Teddy Hart beats the shit out of Punk at some restaurant down the street. What's the name of that restaurant, Sabinite? It's like the one diner they always went to. And the Rob Feinstein thing. He ends up sticking around, which is funny about Feinstein. Like, he supposedly left the company, but he was basically backstage or like behind the scenes the entire time afterwards. So,
what was his thing?
He was the founder of Ring of Honor with Gabe Sapolsky, right? He got caught in one of those To Catch a Predator things.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. But he was in a state where he didn't get arrested for it. They couldn't arrest based on what it was. It was more of an expose to expose them. And then TNA cut ties and things like that. So it was a big old thing. This is later on in the year. This is later in 04 though. So yeah, so that's all. That was a huge mess. We do get a recap of 3 Live Crew and the franchise, their whole feud with new promos. And Terry Taylor now is taking the place of, should I do this for Terry Taylor? Is taking the place of Scott Hudson.
You got to do a different thing for Terry Taylor.
What do I got for Terry? I
mean, you got 2 bells.
I do, but there's enough. Well, I didn't do it for Jarrett. All right, I'll do that for Terry. I need a root.
Don't you have that noisemaker thing?
Yeah, where's my noise? Here it is. Terry Taylor back there with Shane Douglas, Tracy Brooks, Michael Shane, discussing Michael Shane proving himself against Ron Killings. I love this though. Chris Harris walking in and just grabbing the mic and accepting Jarrett's challenge. But Truck, did you catch Shane Douglas's reaction to this and Terry Taylor being like cooling him off? Did you see this? He's like,
like when he's dragged off.
Yeah,
Because like with the crook when you're getting pulled off stage because you're dying. Yeah,
I love it. But so this is the big breakout for Harris. What he talked about when he was on our show, like this was the solo run that we know about, where he got up to this huge main event at one point and he doesn't win the title because they changed it last minute. But this is the start of that Chris Harris solo run, which I believe was because Storm was injured at this point. What's up?
I was just going to ask you. I'm like, where was Storm? Was he injured or what?
Yeah, I believe she had a shoulder injury or something at this point. So they took it to Harris, and he delivered. And he's great. Chris Harris is a phenomenal worker, man.
Hey,
yeah, when we get to the main event, it's a very strong match that does not get the reception it deserves whatsoever. Like there were some really good near falls that had me jumping out of my seat, and the crowd just like, you may as well not even be there.
Unbelievable, man. Unfucking real, that crowd.
Yeah, well, I think a good chunk of the crowd is like the regulars.
Yeah.
But they're probably they're just so like distracted by everything else going on. That's probably most of it, honestly.
Yeah. It's just because I think and Sabin, I can chime in on this. It's like you got to deal with all this shit of them chanting. It's like you can't even it's almost like I can tell like some of the regulars are kind of like, the fuck are we supposed to like even cheer or chant for here? Because these guys are dominating everything. Yeah. Very annoying, man. I mean, even as a viewer 20 years later, I was like annoyed by this crowd.
Oh, totally. The last few shows have just been like ridiculous to watch. Like they're so good as far as like that whole tournament last week.
Yeah, was
ridiculously fun.
Yeah,
and just no one in the crowd gave a shit.
Yeah. Now this is what Sabinite's talking about here. The match that they have like a month later is an amazing match. That's the one for the title, I believe. And that's the one that he told us, that Harris told us when he was on the show, that's day of. They changed their mind. He was supposed to be the champion that night, and they changed the day of. And I was like, could you imagine the trajectory that would have happened for him? You know, I mean, no guarantee, but would have been a lot different. You know, maybe he wouldn't have left a couple years later and and had that whole issue with WWE and all that. But
Right.
yeah, that sucks. But anyway, Michael Shane with Tracy Brooks taking on Ron Killings with 3 Live Crew. Was Shane was out there, right? Was Shane Douglas out there too?
No.
Not with him. Right.
During the match? No, he made a big deal of, I'm sending you down there by yourself.
That's
Tracy
right.
comes with you, but I'm not.
That's right.
And Shane, like, it was kind of a weird promo. Initially he's like, I have to go by myself. You're not coming with me.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's true. I find it so hilarious that Shane Douglas, who had very documented issues with Shawn Michaels, is managing Shawn Michaels' cousin. And like, it's just a very interesting twist in life. But now my question is this: does the ICP crowd shit on 3 Live Crew because they were booing 3 Live Crew? Were they booing them because they're like another hip hop group, and it's like, like, are they booing because they're like not like ICP hip hop? Because they were booing fucking 3 Live Crew, and I was like, do you hate them for cheesiness? Because like that's what all ICP shit is built on. Is I don't know,
because they're not hardcore.
I guess it was just funny because they were booing 3 Live Crew. I'm like, they're all like 3 Live Crew's over with the Asylum crowd, except those folks. And I'm like, huh, it's odd. It's like a rival hip hop. I don't know.
They're not rapping about hoes and toes and
hose and toes. BG is on color commentary. He's great. BG's a great talker, so he's fantastic here. Clear this up for me, Truck. Was that a tooth that got knocked out of Michael Shane's mouth? Because they called this out. I don't know if you guys caught this. Because like, something flies out of Shane's mouth, and BG's like, "That's his tooth." Oh my god, it looks like a tooth. And you see Shane checking his mouth later on. Was that his tooth or was that his gum? Because he's checking his mouth, like he's very panicked and worried, and checking his mouth, and you can see this fucking thing just go, just fly.
No, it couldn't have been. That would have been a ton of blood if it was.
I don't know, man. He does get a nice little cut under his eye later.
There is blood on his face. I don't know if it's from his cheek, but there's also like blood like back by his ear. So I don't know like how he got hurt. I'd have to watch.
He took a few stiff kicks from Truth. I don't think he didn't really like fall in time. It ended up being a little bit stiffer, but I think that really was his tooth. I don't know, man. They show a clip of Shane Douglas attacking Konnan right at the Spanish announce desk and just choking him out.
That's where he was.
Because Konnan, I think, is one of their regular Spanish commentators at this point. He wasn't there because of a gimmick or anything. He's literally there to work.
Yes, yeah, for sure. And he carries that on for a bit too. Tracy gets involved in this, does her pie in the sky move. Truth catches her and power bombs her. I think the finish was great here. This was, to me, was a brilliant finish. She's laid out, cast arms sprawled out, and Truth gives Michael Shane a drop. Oh, I'm sorry. Because Truth wins, right? Yeah. Shane. I'm sorry.
Shane wins.
Shane wins. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Shane wins. Yeah.
Shane gives Truth a drop toe hold where Truth's head hits Tracy's cast, hits him loopy. He turns around and pins him. I thought that was fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
It was such a subtle little thing, but it was so different. And she sold it, to her credit. She's like, "Oh my god!" Like she still sold it,
And she took a huge bump before that. What happens after this is even worse.
What's that?
How they treat Tracy throughout this whole run it's like caveman shit.
Yeah, just drags her out.
All the women get that.
Shane Douglas is standing on the top of the stage, whipping the chain around, all proud. Probably the chain he just.
By the way, Shane looked in great shape at this point too.
He is, yeah. He's all doped up, yeah.
No, but this is where he got clean for a bit, right? This is where he was clean. You could tell though.
Oh, did he?
Because in the beginning, when he first came in, he was a lot heavier.
He was all red and puffy.
Yeah.
For no reason.
He looked great here, man. But go ahead, Jay.
He's whipping the chain around, and he's all, and Michael Shane gets the win. He's looking around. At his feet is Tracy Brooks rolling around, writhing in pain. Shane's just ignoring her, and then jumps out of the ring over her, grabs her, and he's like,
just
he's
carrying
like
her in
this,
a really weird way,
this awkward cradle,
like she's a bag of flour.
Yeah. It's a bag of flour, Tracy Brooks, and then he's like trying to like adjust how he's carrying her, and then Shane's just sitting there. He's not helping.
No,
it's like, what are you guys doing?
Well, the camera's not going to work itself, Jay.
She helped you win. It's like this is how we're treating Tracy Brooks. It's like, why don't you just lay her on the ground and drag her up by her hair? then you've hit full caveman ability. It's like,
speaking of Shane, thanks Mir for reminding me. Rest in peace to Dominic DeNucci, who was Shane Douglas and Mick Foley's trainer, former WWF tag team champion as well. And basically like a father to Shane Douglas. Like Shane would look in on him. He was still with him all the time. And Shane took him on the road. He was still on the road with Shane, making all his appearances with him, hanging out at 92 years old. And wow. Yeah. So Dominic DeNucci was a really tough dude, man. Wow. Great. Looked great too. Great shape. 92, I believe natural causes. So good for him. But condolences to Shane, man. He was very, very close. I mean, basically, Shane lost his father very early, so Dominic was like a father figure to him. And he spoke so highly of him all the time. I always love that about Shane, is that every episode of his podcast, he talks so highly of Dominic, just like a father, like a son to a father. It was always beautiful to hear that. So definitely the condolences to Shane and their family. But we move on. But Tracy Brooks here, by the way, looked smoking hot. She is my absolute number one.
I knew you were going to have something to say about this.
God.
She's wearing like half a shirt.
Oh, so fucking hot, man. And Shane giving her little pecks and stuff like, come on. You're killing me here, Shane. So hot, man. Love Tracy Brooks.
I can't tell what's going on here. Is it like a weird threesome?
I don't know what they're implying. I don't know
because like Shane walks down to the ring with her holding her hand, but then in the promo she's making out with Shane Douglas. So I'm like, this is awkward. It's like
they're the parents and he's the kid.
Yeah, basically. Even though like Tracy Brooks is like 25 here.
That's not. Yeah, I was gonna say that's not how I'm really picturing this. So like, okay, so Papa Shane Douglas passes out at the end of the night, and then Michael Shane Jr. sneaks off with Tracy Brooks' mama. I mean, I've seen a few pornos like that. That's fucked up.
See, we're back to this talk, huh, J-Mo? We're right back to this now. You couldn't leave well enough alone, huh, J-Bone? You could have just let it be. You had to bring it back to this.
I'm old and sick. These are the things, like the goofy ass things that run through my mind when I'm watching these episodes. I'm like, what's really going on here?
That is what's going on here.
I'm watching the wrestling, Jay. I don't know what you're thinking about.
Yeah, seriously, Jay. But J-Bone's turning every segment into like a potential porno storyline. Like, oh, wait a minute now. If Swinger signed the contract and Simon Diamond didn't, does that mean they're both gonna fuck Jeff Jarrett? Like, like what are you going for here, J-Bone? Like, what is going on here?
That's now you did that. I did not do that. That's not where I was. No.
Jay's got like 6 burner Twitter accounts, and they're all Stan accounts.
Which one?
Blocked by like every female wrestler in the world, and most of the guys too. That's his secret life. The secret life of J-Bone.
He's not saying much.
You guys swing?
He's not saying a whole lot.
I'm just jumping into DMs. Hey, so I could picture you and this other wrestler. You want to see some fan fiction I wrote last night at 4 a.m.
Loved your OnlyFans. Do you do any personal appearances?
Okay.
All right, J-Bone. It's enough out of you. All right, let's move on. I love the finish. I thought the finish was brilliant. The drop to hold into the cast. Great little. It's a little tiny touch, but it's cool. It's different.
And they couldn't have done it if Tracy hadn't broken her wrist
absolutely
3 weeks ago.
Horrible sequence to break her wrist, though. The way
stupid bump.
So is this all the inspiration for what Chelsea's doing and Britt Baker's doing?
I think Chelsea's made of glass, unfortunately. That's the sad part about Chelsea. I think she legit is made of glass. So she's not going to cut it.
Matt Cardona better take it easy on her.
Take it easy. Let's let her control the pace. All right, let's go on here. We're really getting into bad, weird territory with this, man. Total banger.
It's been a bangorama.
I'm a bad influence.
Do you guys miss Scumbag Ace Austin, or do you like Inevitable Ace Austin better?
Oh, I thought you meant KL. I'm like, well, we're kind of like all bringing through our own little scumbag.
We kind of forget about when Ace Austin was a total piece of shit, you know?
He was much better then. He had a lot more personality. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah? Inevitable Ace Austin. That's not it's a catchphrase.
There's actually a skit at AAW where Ace Austin even tried to make a pass at the nurse during the Bangorama days. She was going to help Jake something or something.
Right.
Remember that, J-Bone?
Yeah, I saw that promo. Yeah.
He was ridiculous. The fucking nurse, man, got involved there too. What a piece. What an asshole. What an asshole. But he's moved on.
Garbage person.
He's inevitable now. He's inevitable. But
not so inevitable. Not long as he's been inevitable. What are we, 8 months into the year here?
Yeah, well, there's a lot I can rant about that show. That's why I had to distance myself from Thursday due to anger issues. But Terry Taylor with the red shirt security, Kid Kash, Glen Gilberti, David Young, discussing El Leon and Dustin Rhodes for the match against the Reds later on tonight. They're a little tense with Kid Kash because he's basically calling the shots, and they're like, "You fucking asshole! Quit telling us what to do." You know, you're all pissed at him. Glenn and David are talking their match against the ICP. It's a Juggalo street fight. Young is totally scared of clowns. He's like, "Oh, I ain't doing it. I'm not doing this shit." So then
they make me uncomfortable.
Kash is like, I fucking hate Juggalos. I'm gonna take his place. And they talk a little bit more about the oath. Who signed it, Simon or Swinger? We will reveal later on tonight. And then we go right to it. Red shirt security, Northcutt Legend against El Leon and Dustin Rhodes. My notes in this truck, basic match, nothing special. I don't know if you had anything about this.
The only thing that popped out to me was that Dustin got absolutely zero reaction from the crowd when he came out. And I thought that was a great encapsulation of everything involving the crowd tonight. Dustin doesn't get a reaction.
Not at all.
So
he's not a dad, but he's still a big deal at this point. And to not even get a moderate pop.
Nothing.
He did get a really horrible gold dust chant.
Oh, that popped up 2 or 3 times in this match. Yeah.
It was a gold dust chant that sounded like I had to listen to it a couple of times. I'm like, what are they chanting? Because when they chanted it, it sounded like the Goldberg chant. You're like, Goldberg. But that's what it sounded like, except it was gold dust. So I'm like, in my head, because I'm a Goldberg fan, I'm hearing Goldberg. I'm like, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. It's gold dust.
No kidding. I didn't catch that. I'll try.
It wasn't super loud. It was just a small slice of fans, and I would guess that it would be the ICP folks because it was in my view kind of disrespectful because he's not that guy now.
I hate when people
he's wrestling a different character. He's wrestling a different style. If you're chanting that sort of shit at this show, you're doing it to get yourself over and bring attention to yourself.
That's all.
And I think that's kind of what a lot of these fans for this show were here to do.
I hate when fans do that.
You guys talk. I'm gonna quick just look that up about. It was one of his shorter runs in TNA because he went back and forth a lot, and he had a lot of. Well,
he came in after the Black Rain thing. That was terrible.
Well, that was almost 10.
Though, right?
That was almost 10 years later, or not quite 10 years.
No, like 4 years later, maybe. Did he go back to WWE in the middle of this? I'm curious now. I'm trying to remember what he did after because this TNA run's not long. Does he go back to? I know. I saw him at an indie. Funny enough, I saw him at an indie here called PW Blitz. And he wrestled, what's this? Jay Bradley, who was what the hell was his name in Impact?
He's a Chicago guy.
Yeah, it was Jay Bradley for a bit, but he was Adrian. What the hell? He was like Billy Corgan's bodyguard. What the fuck that storyline was?
Yeah.
He wrestled him, and he blew up Jay Bradley in the first few minutes, and he was running circles around this kid. It was incredible. What a phenomenal match by Dustin, though. The guy can go still.
So, all right. So Dustin here, I'm not going to read this whole paragraph, but he comes in February because I missed a couple weeks ago.
Mhm.
Comes in February 4th, and he's gone by April a year later, and he goes back to WWE between 2005 2006. Goes back, okay, does this, does that, and then he goes to Japan. Okay, and then he goes back to TNA, 2007, 2008.
Yeah, Black Rain.
Yeah, and I gotta say though, I mean, this is a guy who has risen above all the abuse and everything. He's like sober like 8 or 9 years now or something.
Good for him.
He's in one of his best shapes of his career, you know, after cleaning himself up. But he's such a great backstage mentor for the kids in AEW now. He's, man, it's inspiring to see guys like him get a second run that's like really, I mean, he's not like earning championships now, but whatever he's doing is still worth something really good. He's not just sitting back and fucking catering, you know.
I would argue that that what he's doing is actually the more real thing than earning fake championships. What he's doing is the real stuff, you know.
Yeah,
training people and all that. So
he's mentoring the next generation. He really is, and he's got his own school now, the Rhodes Academy or whatever it's called. So I mean, he's really giving back now.
Was it that Nightmare Factory? Is that what they do? Is that their school? Because like, yeah, every student from that, like, literally, I don't know if they just graduated a class, but like AEW got like 30 emails from like, I just graduated Nightmare Factory, and it's like, who the fuck? Like, where did all these kids come from all of a sudden? It's a bunch of kids looking to get out there on the indies. Kudos to that, but I'm like, did they just graduate like 30 kids at a time? Like, okay, hit the indies, boys. Like, I don't know how that works, but.
Well, and they know that, you know, AAW is one of the biggest indies out there. So you got to give them props for getting their stuff out there.
Yeah, Jay Bradley right here. Dustin outworked him, and he was like, he had like 15, 20 years on him or whatever, something at that point. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway, we would leave off here. So Terry, so they did Terry. So now, redshirt security, El Leon, Dustin, Rhodes, real basic match. Dustin and El Leon win, but the Naturals come in and attack Dustin. With the powder
Naturals.
Naturals end up being a very legendary team for TNA, though. They're a very, very big part of a certain portion of TNA that's very forgotten. Their run is very forgotten in the present day, I should say.
Yeah. The first few years of the TV that's their hottest.
They're in Orlando, they're all over it.
Yeah.
I thought maybe they had this feud kick off because Dustin Rhodes used to be the natural Dustin Rhodes. And I'm like, oh, is that why they're doing this? I was just curious if that's how they tie it in later on. I forgot, though. Back to Terry Taylor. Shit. It's not as cool as the bell, man. The bell has got snap to it, you know what I mean?
You gotta, like, you know, bang some pots together. So you gotta wake up some neighbors. Get them excited.
Like a slide whistle. That's what you need.
Yeah, that's what I need. Oh, God, we gotta get that. I need to find that. Amazon, where's my Prime account? I gotta get rid of that shit. All right,
or a kazoo or something, yeah.
Well, Conan does the kazoo gimmick on his show. I'm not gonna steal that from Conan. But I will definitely Conan, he does the kazoo. He kazoos like stupid things.
Is it really a kazoo, or is it like a bong that he does like a whistle?
He does those too. Conan rips bongs live on his show too. My favorite's when he's like, well, Conan used to have this big problem where he would eat on his show a lot. And then he'd be like asking questions while he's eating. So he'd be like, hey, Glen, did you watch Raw? He's like, and he'd be like, no, I didn't see it. Oh, okay. And then he like did like a minute later, like Glen would be talking or somebody would be talking. You hear this? He'd be fucking ripping up bong, you know, doing the fucking he's like, but fucking Barry fucking Corbin, he ain't got shit. Like it's what it would be for a long time. And I think somebody was said because they're much more. There's not as much now, but in the early days of that, the Keeping It 100 or MLW radio. Oh my god, it was hilarious shit.
What's funny is because Conan's actually messaged me a couple times in years past when he's trying to build his audience.
Let me guess. Can I guess what it said? Hey, have you heard of my podcast?
Yeah, that. But there was actually some typed coughs in there, so it was like you heard. No, I'm kidding.
There was a running joke online. It's like, do you even have a Twitter account if you haven't been messaged by Conan to check out his podcast? Like, he was literally just sending anybody a fucking hey, have you heard of my podcast? And he sends you a link, and it's still so fucking funny.
Yeah.
So
yes, I know your show. Love you. Yes.
It's a great show. It is. They do a lot of clips on YouTube, so it's a good way to listen to it. It's a very long show, so listen to it on YouTube. It's easier. So Terry Taylor with Jim Mitchell in The Gathering talking about Raven. Is he really going to come back? Julio De Niro truck cuts a very paint by numbers wrestler promo. It's like if you define wrestler promo, I was like, this is what Julio De Niro says. Like it's like remember, mention the word tonight. Like the word tonight, your opponent, how you're gonna kick his ass. Every checkpoint of a wrestler promo.
It's not hard to see why this is the peak of his career.
Yes. Yeah, it's true. Funny enough, though, you don't realize how long these two were a tag team. Quite a while, actually. Punk and De Niro. Never gets talked. I mean, again, Russo had mentioned it to us. It's like if these shows were on free TV, they'd have so much more lasting power. Like there'd be so much more reference points of these shows. But because they were behind a paywall, it's like they're never referenced enough. You know, that's the problem with it. And it sucks. I get it. There was a whole different business model. Looking back, I wish they would have maybe, once the Asylum era was done, when they moved to Orlando, if they would have syndicated these shows in order earlier, early on. When they got to Fox, maybe just got an hour, like a 2 hours, over, even if it was a late night, something where these syndicated out just to show the buildup of all this. But yeah, they didn't get syndicated till Pluto and stuff, until all that stuff came around and Twitch and everything. We go to Don West and Scott Hudson. Where the hell's my bell? There we go. Talking about the director of authority, and they pitch it back to Kid Kash, who's arguing with the red shirts for losing. Jarrett comes in and takes out Joe Legend. He just takes out Legend, and he tells Northcutt, "You have a decision to make now." So is this it for Joe Legend? Is he out?
Oh, that's a good question.
Legend, I assume Legend got pinned, and that's why he took him out. But that was it. He just he's just fuck you, you lost. So I don't know. It was funny.
Which is weird because is Jarrett's endgame firing everyone?
I think so.
Who's going to be left to the company? Why is he doing this?
I don't know. There's a weird.
How is he going to fill 2 hours? Actually, Jay, I was paying attention this week because last week you pointed out, and I didn't catch this. The intro is all clips of Jarrett now, and it's still that this week.
I didn't catch that. I didn't catch it.
Yeah, it's the
just
same.
Clips of Jarrett hitting people with guitars and doing Jarrett shit. So does he literally want to fire everyone? So it's just him for 2 hours talking about how awesome he is?
So you either follow him or you're out. You get
what's
everybody on board.
Even mean? The red shirts already follow you, bro.
That's true.
Why are you taking out Legend? So the people who follow you, you're going to take them out too and fire them?
Yeah, just because they lost?
So funny.
There's something so odd about this logic. You lost, you're out too. But
the presidential guard is going to turn on you, bro, when they notice this trend. You're going to be assassinated from within. This is an old story.
I guess so, man. We get a recap of Johnny Fairplay, and there's a.
This must be where that must be where they wrote him out, because all I'm seeing on Wikipedia here is they held the belts from January 28th, 2004 to February 4th in the same year. And then it talks about Russian and Japanese promotions.
Yeah, he's still very active in Germany. Legend is full-time in Germany. He's making a great, I heard him on a podcast. I Keep It 100, I believe. And, Raven's podcast. He was on the Raven Effect. I heard a clip of it. And he's very busy still in in Germany. So good for Legend, man.
And he's only, what does it say here? He's 51. Yeah, he lives in Hanover, Germany. I mean, you assume this is all updated, I guess, but interesting.
So I have a question about the next segment here. So we get the Fair Plays in there. We got a little Survivor Island set up.
Oh, God.
Lollipop is, I guess, working for Fair Play now, and she hands...
Is that who that was? I
it was Lollipop.
Okay.
She had more clothes on.
Yeah. She hands the ring announcer, who's Tim Wilkes, a bit of a silly intro, for Fair Play. He comes out, and he talks about China, who they promised would be in the Impact Zone, or the Asylum, I should say, this week. And he talks about her making all these crazy demands, and that's why she's not here. What's bigger, Triple H's nose or China's Adam's apple? I mean, it's fucking weird. But my question is, okay, Sabinite knows. So he knows exactly what I'm talking about. All right. Was China actually supposed to be here, and they just couldn't come to a deal? That's my question.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
That's what Sabinite, if you know anything, chime in on this. Go ahead, Jay.
So Johnny Fairplay's just ripping her. He's like, well, yeah, she couldn't show up because she wanted first class. Then she wanted this on the plane. Then she wanted what was the last thing you said? She wanted an autograph 8x10 of Triple H or something.
Oh God, this is so awkward, man.
Oh,
and then Sabinite's right. The ICP, the Juggalos take to this big time. Like they just start singing and fucking swearing, and it's just a disaster.
Yeah.
And then he insults AJ. AJ comes out. They face off. It's a really slow goddamn segment here.
Yeah.
Very they're going for the Andy Kaufman vibe, right, Jay? Like they're going for that whole, because he's insulting rednecks and your trailer. That's like exactly what Andy Kaufman did in Memphis.
Yeah, and it's straight shots at the ICP crowd. He turns around and he's like, and I hate you guys too, So it's like, so it's just another example of the locker room is like, shoot.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not a wrestler, but still, it's like, obviously no one in the back is liking this audience.
No. Truck, what do you think of this segment? This was a very difficult segment here, man.
Fair Play was doing the best he could in the situation he was given. I actually like that he seemed to have come prepared and done his homework. Like he knew who China was. He knew what she was up to professionally at that point. He knew what the relationship between her and Hunter was because he made those shots.
He did.
And, Jay, he did interact with the crowd a bit there, trying to get them to actually engage with the segment rather than put themselves over. So
that's all they were doing at this point. In this segment, they were just singing away.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
And typically, I'm really not a fan of bringing in outside celebrities who have no connection to wrestling because I just don't see what the business point is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
But this guy got it. Like this guy actually attempted to build a bridge between, this audience that I'm playing for right now and the larger audience that I can play to when I'm on these daytime talk shows. Because they had the segments of him. I don't know what talk show it was. But he had the neck brace, and they were playing the clips of him getting hit with the chair, and he was kayfabing it. He was like, "Oh yeah, I got a concussion, and I cracked some vertebrae, blah blah blah." And if you're gonna commit like that, then okay, good. Let's see if we can do something here.
Yes.
He was trying to do something here. He was trying to make this work.
I appreciate that from him too because he kayfabed it all the way through. Like I mentioned while you were off, it's got that very Andy Kaufman vibe.
And that worked the first time around.
It did. Got everybody. And he's doing that same kind of deal where he's playing it in public. He's wearing the neck brace. I appreciate that. It's a commitment,
yes.
And I know it's exposure for the company. At that point, any exposure was great for them.
Because it's still behind that paywall. So if you want to see it, you have to commit. You can't just flip on, TNA every Wednesday.
So, but the problem was this crowd was just the worst crowd to do it in front of. That's the thing. This Juggalo crowd. Go ahead, Jay.
I was trying to think if this was were they having her on because she was getting a little bit of buzz because of her porn career? That first porn movie, One Night in China, didn't come out until December later that year. So
no, she's on record at this point.
Oh, that's right. He mentioned the record.
Yeah, her album. I think this is when The Surreal Life was on. Like all that stuff was going on here. Like she had a lot happening, but it wasn't like great stuff. But I wonder, was she set to appear and they just couldn't come up with a deal? I really want to know, like, was this a fall through on a deal? Because
Well, it certainly sounded from last week like she was actually going to be here this week.
that's what I thought, yeah.
So what the hell did she put out for a record?
Does anybody in the chat own the China album?
It's not even listed in the Wikipedia that she put out a record at this time.
No,
because it goes from wrestling to adult film career, the films she put out, the AVN Awards, other media, Playboy, literature, television and film,
nothing,
Surreal Life. Surreal Life wasn't until the next year, 2005. Personal Life.
Yeah, I don't see anything about a music album at all.
I'm not seeing that.
Nothing, man.
Well, he made that crack about it. You can only get it through direct mail or something like that. I don't remember it either, but he was bringing it up. I don't
either.
So yeah, that's an interesting one. I'm not seeing it. Yeah, if anybody knows anything about it,
I'm curious.
Hit us up. Just it's got to be. It can't be better than Savage's rap career, for crying out loud.
Hey, Savage is doing the intro song of the show.
I love it. I love it.
And it's a good one. It's a banger.
It is good.
As the kids say.
So AJ comes out. He's the most over because the regulars are cheering AJ. Like the actual Nashvillians are cheering AJ at this point. And at least overpowering the fucking Juggalos with this. Or I'm even guessing that some of the goddamn Juggalos can't deny cheering for AJ at this point. Like, I'm like, come on. Even you fuckers are going to cheer for this guy. He's the guy right now, you know? He comes out, and then they talk about the Abyss AJ match, and they go right to it. They go right to AJ and Abyss. Always amazing chemistry with these two. It is like from day one, they've had chemistry. They are tag team champions at this point, correct? We forget about this.
Yes. Because AJ's carrying one of the belts. I think he should be carrying both.
He should be carrying both. Abyss is not carrying his, I don't believe.
No.
So it's amazing. I asked Danny Daniels, who owns AAW, because he cross paths with these guys a ton, IWA Mid-South and whatnot on the circuit. And I said, these guys just, their chemistry. He goes, oh, they were working prior to TNA. They were working, oh my God, for Burt Prentice and all those guys down in Georgia. The NWA Wildside. He goes, they were working each other for months prior to this. So they just knew each other like the back of their hands. Like they had incredible chemistry. To me, in my opinion, this is the match of the night. Like these two just have an amazing match. Finish is a little wonky because Jarrett comes in.
That's generous.
Yeah. Jarrett comes in, attacks AJ, and this is where it all goes to shit. Because the match itself was great until this. So you got Jeff Jarrett comes in. Attacks AJ, gets the DQ, and the table attack that happens here is absolutely fucked. It is fucked.
This was an embarrassment to all involved, especially Jeff, because he's the senior in the ring. This was incredibly unsafe.
Abyss gets fucked up in this. You could catch where Abyss pops his knee on this one.
Yeah.
This was
AJ
awful.
Could have had it a lot worse. It didn't look good, but he could have had it a lot worse.
So set it up, Truck, because you probably just watched it a little while. You probably watched it a little sooner than, or more recently than I did. Set this up.
So they've got the table in the ring. You know, Jarrett's done his thing and the match is over, and he's, tells Abyss, you're going to put him through the table. Abyss tries to slam him through the table, but like on top of the legs. So there's no way the table was going to break at all. So AJ just bounces off it, which isn't great already. That's not enough, of course, though. Jarrett tells him, go to the corner, you were going to do a splash, puts AJ on the table, but the table's like at this weird angle and it's way far away from the corner.
Way far.
Abyss is not a luchador. He's not going to go coast to coast. No. And like the angle that the table's set up at, you're not even going to be able to jump to it and hit the guy in the center of the table. You're going to land on the legs again, which is exactly what happens. So like, Abyss, what is he at this point? Almost 300 pounds. Most of that comes down on AJ's head. Yeah. It is so ugly. And
there you go.
Jarrett owns the fucking company and he sets this up. Like, you couldn't pull the table over and make it a bit safer so that you could actually do the splash right. Because
Crazy.
what you do looks like shit and it's dangerous as hell. Why did you do this?
I think at this point, just fuck the table. Like the table's gone. Make it just a regular splash, because you catch Abyss. Sabin, and right as you were saying it, Sabin, I just confirmed. I mean, he's like, it was rough seeing it from the other side. It looked like he crushed AJ's skull. You see Abyss's knees because the way the angle the table is at, it basically aligned with Abyss's knees, and his knees hit the corner of the fucking table. He immediately grabs his right knee. He's like, "Fuck," like you could see it. And he's grabbing it all the way up the ramp. It was such a loud.
And it's so stupid because these are two of your big guys. These are the big guys that you are creating for yourself. They're not outsiders that you're, bringing in to try and pop a crowd. They're characters that you're building yourself. Yep. And you put both of them in this ridiculous situation where, if things had gone really badly, maybe they're both on the shelf for months.
Absolutely.
For nothing.
You could have screwed a lot of your programming. And right here, just slam them through. Why did you need to go for that splash? Abyss is. You're trying to have him go nearly across the ring. It was so insane.
Oh, Abyss knows he can't make it because he only goes up to the middle turnbuckle. I think he doesn't even climb at the top. Thank God.
So stupid.
I want to ask first, Sabinite. There's a section of a handful of people right at the start of this episode, and sorry I'm remembering this now, but it's like literally someone's holding up some Sabin signs, and there's a few people like. In this area. So I'm wondering if First Sabinite is actually one of these guys holding up one of those Sabin signs in the first few seconds of the actual live show after the rerun stuff.
He's still looking for those signs too. I hope he finds them in his garage. I can't wait if he has those. He comes on the show. But yeah, let us know if that was you, man.
Yeah.
Terrible spot. Absolutely awful. But, didn't need to. Back to Terry Taylor. With Simon Diamond and Johnny. This does not have the same effect as the bell. It's got to go bell. I hope Scott Hudson's back on backstage interviewing very soon because I need the bell. But much to Bill's chagrin, he's back there with Simon and Swinger. They're discussing who signed, and now they're questioning each other. It's kind of the finger pointing a little bit going on. Simon says, "You know what? Fuck this. I'm going to find out tonight. I'm sick of this shit." We get a ICP recap with new interviews. Kind of fresh thing there. Right to the match. ICP, Violent J, and Shaggy 2 Dope against Kid Kash and Glen Gilberti. This is where the crowd finally fucking stops fucking off, and they're into this. And
they leave straight afterwards, though. So
do they? Oh yes, they do. Sons of bitches, they sure do.
A lot of them leave.
Save this. We're gonna talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
They come out the chicken hunting. They're all singing along right here, J-Bo. There you go. Look. Sabin was there in the Shark Boy mask. Tweeted it out earlier and skimmed through his episode. Oh, go find his tweet. That's on go find Sabinite's tweet on this one. Pull this up.
I was one in the Shark Boy. Oh,
that was him. It looks like he's right behind you. Always has been. Look right.
It was you.
It was you.
Sabinite. It was you all along.
It always has been. Like it's been the whole time. So they fucking get it. They're hot for this. I'll give them that. At least they got. I mean, which we knew they were going to. But I'll give ICP this. They did a good job keeping up with this. They kept up enough. But you know what made this was Glen and Kash selling amazingly in this. I mean, they really made these two look.
These guys are such professionals.
They are.
Because they could have made these two look like idiots.
They sure could have, yeah.
Yeah, they could have fucked them up for real.
Yeah.
But they chose to be professionals, and that says a lot about them, I think.
Big time. They are. I mean, these guys are two of the best ring psychologists out there, and they're still, they're out. I mean, Glen still teaches. Kash does not as much. Mark
Glen's working.
Yes. Yeah, he's still working. He's going to be working GCW soon. So
he looks fantastic.
He looks great. Glen's phenomenal. I listen to him he has another podcast. He has 2 podcasts with Russo every week. I listen to all of them. He's very, very intelligent with the business, psychology of the business. I do enjoy listening to his show. So they do a bit of Kash and Posse do a bit of a back and forth. Like Mike Posse, who is he in AEW now, J-Bone? This Mike Posse referee?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen him there a bunch of times. they've got a pretty solid team of referees there now, and they've come from like all over the place. One guy was from MLW, one guy was from oh gosh, I don't know, but they had some Ring of Honor refs like Turner.
I was hoping that when I said is Mike posing AEW, I was hoping you just pulled one of those. Always.
Here.
Always.
This is okay. So I'm not going to play it. So we shouldn't get in trouble for this. But I am going to share the screen here. I just found them.
Oh, you did on your? Is it on Twitter or on your own?
No, I actually looked it up on the episode because I know like.
Let's see it. Let's see our boy here, Sabin Knight, who's been on the show. Everybody, a couple of weeks ago, he was on the show. So go check him out.
So I'm not going to play it. Just going to share the screen. So
go ahead. Let's see this here.
There he is.
There he is. Look at that.
That's him. And then this guy is holding like a Sabinite sign or something. And he brings a sign down right in front of these guys. But yeah, there he is right there. At least I'm assuming that's him. So there he is. First Sabinite.
First Sabinite, our buddy right there. Awesome. I love it. Very cool, dude. I love the perspective we're finally getting. I wish we found you earlier, man. We were doing the earlier episodes. It would have been amazing.
It's actually one of the people chosen for that Jarrett versus Dusty fan strap match in October 2003. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I thought those guys were all plants. I was so surprised when I found out they were actual fans.
Actual fans, man. So Posse and Kash do it back and forth. Posse shoves Kash. Counts him out very fast, like fast count. They can Nick Patrick shit out of this with him, fast counts him. ICP wins. The heels all attack Posse afterwards. Posse slaps Kash and they beat the shit out of him after that. Diamond and Swinger make their way into for the save. Simon grabs the clipboard and I gotta give Simon this. The anticipation of it the entire time, like it's fucking Simon. He's gonna nail Swinger with the clipboard. Because he's like Swinger's like, what does it say? What is it? Like he's just kind of like, what does it say? Like this is before the Swinger we all know now. The Pizzles, the Rizat Swinger. This is a different Swinger, man. This is bro Swinger. This is Jim Tan Laundry Swinger. You know what I mean? This is not this guy.
I want my Pizzles back.
Which I still to this day say is one of the best career resurgences ever. Like the rebirth of Swinger is amazing.
It is. It's so much fun. Like not every comedy act in wrestling works. There's not a lot of gray. It either works or it doesn't. And for like the diehards like us that appreciate, because like I said, not everything can be a Sami Callihan death match. Nothing against death matches. But you appreciate the Falabas and the goofy little monikers here and there from like the Fire and the Flava or Tennille Dashwood or whatever. So yeah, it's all good. We love this stuff.
It's good stuff. But yeah, he's kind of playing it off. So I don't know, Truck. I don't know if you're with me on this. I thought it was Simon the whole time. He was going to nail him with the clipboard. I
thought it was going to be a swerve. I thought it was going to be neither one of them signed, and Kash is just trying to get them to turn on each other.
So you thought they maybe like look at it and then just look at Kash and be like,
and then realize that Kash is. But maybe that was just me. I didn't want to see them break up. I really liked them as a team.
Right.
They do break him up. Swinger is the one who signed. He attacks Simon. They all beat him down. Black shirts make the save. I forgot that he turned on Simon. I don't remember this at all. I forgot that they turned Swinger heel here. But redemption. You got to get Simon in for an appearance at some point. I mean, everybody's making these little comebacks and little cameos. Like Simon was an agent for many years after this in TNA. So I imagine the relationship is still good. But man, I would love for Simon just to cross paths. Like, what the hell happened to you? Like I've at least for a couple. The fuck is this? Like just like coming into the casino.
Why are you dressed like this? Why are you talking like this?
I thought you sold this gear. He's like, what the hell's eBay, Daddy? Like it's like fucking just he's never the Swinger, Simon and him just teamed up like a week ago at this point. Like in his mind, it just happened.
I should point out that all of Swinger's references, like, you were 2 when that happened. What are you talking about? You weren't there.
He should, dude. I would love to get Simon in for like a cam. Can you picture it? Simon coming into this palace, going, "Listen, I've got a problem," and there's a little like fourth wall break to the camera, just going on and so this could be gold if you bring Simon Diamond in just for a one shot appearance. I'd love it. I don't know where he
Well, if
lives.
they ever get to do that actual TNA show like they were supposed to do before the
Yeah.
pandemic.
That would have been nice. Maybe they'll still do it at some point. Who knows?
Yeah.
Terry fucking Taylor with Goldilocks asked her why she turned on Watts.
Oh.
She's pissed off. This is not a good this is not good, Truck. This is very this is weird. I don't like seeing Goldie like this.
Goldie's going full trashy hot, and I'm okay with it.
Oh, she looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
Goldie is sexy as hell.
Yeah.
I don't like seeing Goldie like this. She's out of her mind at this point. But she basically just saying, fuck you to Watts, screw you, Watts. You had that coming, you're a piece of shit, and all that stuff. Watts is not on this show, by the way. He is not nothing.
In name. In spirit.
In spirit. I love this thing, though. Mike TNA walks by on a fucking Motorola Razor or whatever he's on.
Leather jacket. Like a boss.
I love
like
it.
a fucking boss.
I love it.
Yeah.
This is Mike TNA. It's like, I'm fucking gangster today. I got the leather on, wearing some comfortable slacks, no tuxedo today. And he just fucking walks in, taps stairs like, I need to see you right now. And he's like, what? He goes, right now. And I'm like, oh shit. Like, calls Terry out. Goldie looks confused.
Goldie's like, what the hell? I'm talking here.
We get a Raven and Gathering recap of the entire feud, which was a very well done video package. If you hadn't seen any of it, they really kind of give you the full gamut in like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. And then it's the match.
It's all post Vampiro though. So,
yes, yeah. You don't.
Yeah.
They're embarrassed about the Vampiro stuff, man. Outside of the first appearance of Vampiro, that shit, man. It was that was tough stuff. This wasn't that great either. CM Punk and Julio De Niro taking which Jim Mitchell comes out later, but he's not there yet. Against Terry Funk and Raven. Am I crazy, or was the Raven return treated like complete?
This
like
fucking sucked.
Was this suck? I was like,
sucked.
all this build up for Raven. He's just like, hey,
He's here.
Raven's back.
Like, same music, same look. Doesn't say or do anything different. He's just, I'm here.
I'm here.
Well, he had a different look. He had like
We had his old leather jacket.
he was growing his hair back, so it looked like it was like in between two different haircuts. So that looked awkward.
Yeah.
He had the what's that called? The umlaut symbol painted on his face. So that was different. Yeah.
No, what
It wasn't.
Ankh?
There was
Ankh.
Windows
Excuse me.
wrestling.
Yes. Yeah.
It didn't. It was treated like it was like, oh, we knew he's here. Like the whole.
And it didn't help that this crowd just didn't give a shit about wrestling.
Right.
No,
Yeah. The crowd.
They could have had Flair show up and
this wasn't the crowd that had been invested in the Raven ride the entire time. That's
No.
the problem.
Completely different crowd.
The Raven saga is in my opinion, the best saga of the Asylum. And even including him being gone for 5 weeks, like the whole saga of him being gone is part of that story to me. And it's like, but the return was like, hey, he's here. Like, what? Nothing.
yeah.
No build.
What? It also didn't help that, I mean, like, God bless Terry Funk. He's a legend, but he literally got cut open.
Yeah.
And then dragged all over the place. Zero offense. It was basically 2-on-1 the entire time. That
Bloody
didn't help
hell,
it
though.
either.
Bloody
Dude.
as fuck.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
disgusting.
Yeah, he lost at least a pint of blood throughout the entire match and just looked horrible, could barely move.
Mhm.
It just didn't help. I mean, if Terry was like at ringside with another tag partner and he was like, messing, if Terry Funk was like fucking with Paul Mitchell, or excuse me, James Mitchell, Paul Mitchell, Jiminy Christmas.
Like the hair care guy, Paul Mitchell. With the hair
No.
products? What the fuck
Oh,
do
that's
you know about
'cause-
hair care?
Because James Mitchell's hair is always so impressive and gorgeous and black and sleek. That's why I was thinking Paul Mitchell. Anyways, no, I don't know shit about Look at it. It's even. I'm lazy. It's growing back. So yeah.
Oh man, you got the classic shoehorn. You got the
toilet bowl. Toilet bowl. Yes. I'm actually thinking about doing a Paul Heyman and growing it all out. You know, get a ponytail.
Do the Hogan where you wear the bandana. It's long.
The skullet.
The skullet. Yeah.
No, then I gotta dye it. No.
Come on, Jay. Just grow it out once. Yeah. And Jay with the long skullet hair flowing around.
Dear God.
Go on. Bloody Terry Funk.
Yeah, that was it. It just looked bad.
The match sucked. The return sucked. I think the 5 weeks sucked.
Did you? Let me hear why.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, because for the first 3, it's Sandman bringing in randoms and getting stomped in under 5 minutes. Those matches were nothing. The matches
those are garbage.
The matches were shorter than his entrance. So right off the bat there's nothing. And then if for some reason we pass the baton to Terry Funk for reasons, Sandman isn't even here, and he's the one who's been taking most of the punishment while Raven was off doing whatever. We never actually get told really what Raven was doing. We get a little bit of a snippet from him after this match talking about how he was sitting around in his house feeling sorry for himself. And I'm like, that's the fucking direction you decide to go in?
That's not Raven. That's not Raven. Raven doesn't do that.
That was WCW Raven.
Yes, that was that story in
WCW. That was WCW Raven. That's And Trent, do you remember weeks and weeks back when this all first started?
Yeah.
Sandman had that first match, got stopped. Mm-hmm. They win, they're celebrating, and then Raven's music starts playing, but it's skipping over and over again.
Yes.
Quote Raven. And you asked, do you think that's a technical glitch or is it going to build to something? I thought it was deliberate. I thought they were building to something.
That's what I thought.
It wasn't. It was a technical glitch. They had no plan. Why was Raven gone for 5 weeks? Maybe he was in rehab. Maybe he needed some time to recover. Maybe he was injured. I have no clue. They obviously didn't, do anything different with him.
No, and it was treated so weak on the comeback. Like I said, when I was saying earlier, to me, the saga of Raven is the best story. This is not a good part of it. Absolutely, I agree with you on that. It's horribly handled.
Sandman had been asking him to come back for weeks, and now Terry Funk asks him to come back, and that's the trick that gets him. Somebody asks him politely, and he just shows up again.
And that's it. Yeah, it's weird.
That sucks.
And then we do get the. So yeah, we'll get to that in a second. The promo afterwards, and let's rehash this on that promo afterwards. Mitchell comes out with a stun gun here. Julio pins, Raven pins Julio, gets the win. Mitchell comes out with the stun gun, and he's going to stun Raven, but Terry Funk just does a old no,
and he's spasming on the mat. So hokey, hokey.
Classic. Classic.
It's the return of Raven, but this is all about Terry Funk. This entire match
so overbooked in this segment.
Yeah.
I get it, even just down to the entrance. It was like, oh, Raven's here. Like you just got like, oh, Raven's back. It's like it wasn't. Again, the crowd was terrible for it. The fucking crowd doesn't help this at all.
Yeah,
because they weren't along for the ride at all.
Yeah.
But that was it.
If this was the crowd from a couple months ago, they would have lost their minds. That Terry Funk had was a bloody mess and getting beat up and dragged all over the place. They would have just lost their shit. This crowd was like, hey.
And then have Raven show up to make the save.
You got some bread for that?
That would have been better.
You got some bread for that red sauce? What's up, man?
Yeah. But
I think about Sandman's return to ECW after his stint in WCW.
Oh, that was awesome.
That nuclear pop.
It was by
you can't get that with Raven, but you sure could have got a lot more than what you did.
Here's what you should have done. I was just about to say. If Terry Funk's out there. They should have blacked the arena out, played the music, lights on. He's standing there. That would have meant so much more of that epic reveal to him.
And it would fit so much better with what he is.
Absolutely.
He's this guy that bends the rules to suit his needs.
Yeah. Didn't do anything for me. It's terrible.
No.
I was like,
he walks down the ring. He does this.
Yeah. Just weak. Very weak. But an interesting segment next, though. We'll come back to this in a second. Interesting segment next is Terry Taylor with Scott D'Amore, who is the VP of the company now, making his second. This is his second on-screen appearance, but
second or third.
I remember this being the second. He did one that was a video package about X or whatever that was, and then I don't remember anything after that. But
Yeah,
either
there
way,
might have been one or two little, just real brief appearances on camera.
There was one really short one that I can remember, and I think he's had one
okay.
somewhat longer speech. But
So
yeah,
so he's there with Terry Taylor, and he says the X Cup was such a hit that it's not going to become a regular thing. And he announces March 10th, Team AAA will defend their title against Team Canada with Captain Teddy Hart.
oh,
This was it. This is how Team Canada comes into the TNA. Original captain was meant to be Teddy Hart. We know what happens after this, and he's out of there, which is where Petey Williams gets to assume the reins here. But Truck, he says Americans do one thing better than Canadians, and that's choke.
The cheap Pete. That's the easy one to get, as a Canadian.
Yeah.
Say anything like that. Yeah. I did have one thing to share on this.
Sure.
Jade Chung had a 2 to 3 hour interview with Scott on her podcast a couple of months ago at this point. He talks a lot about what led up to him having this role in TNA.
Really?
It's a fascinating conversation. He speaks incredibly openly and at great length, and I've never got that from him anywhere else.
I need to hear that, and I feel bad I haven't listened to that. Jade does a great show, too.
Jade does a great show, yeah. So all the episodes are on YouTube. Go look her up. It's not that far back in the archives. It's long. It's over 2 hours, but I listened to the entire thing in one sitting. It was so good.
For those who don't know, Jade is Josh Alexander's wife. She is
and a manager and a wrestler.
Yes, she is. She was in Ring of Honor for a little bit too, so she's got experience. She's awesome too. She was on TNI UK as well. They Bison, Joe, and Steve interviewed her for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
She also did a interview with Josh Alexander. They are the most smitten couple I have ever met outside of my wife and I.
I love them.
They are pretty adorable.
They really are. What she did. There was a video what she did for him the night he came home with the X Division title. And how she decorated the entire house, and it was champs here and balloons, and the kids were there. Oh, it was fucking
that's
incredible.
Amazing.
She's super mom. Seriously, she's super mom, super wife, super mom. She's awesome.
That's some support there. That's
great
that's
wife.
Awesome.
Definitely couples goals when you hear that, when you see how they are. I told that to Josh when he was at AAW. He's like he goes, no one in this world can handle me and how I am better than she can.
He says that on her show too.
Really?
I can definitely relate to that.
Yeah. There's no one in the world that can handle me like she does. So what a great lady. So that's going to be March 10th. Team Canada's debut basically coming up. Terry and Don. Terry. Why did I write Terry and Don? Why did Terry and Don break this down? What the fuck are Terry and Don? What? Why did I write down Terry and Don break it all down? What? Terry.
Oh, because there was a segment where Scott and Don talked about what's coming up.
I wrote Terry and Don break it all down.
Because you really don't want Hudson on the screen anymore.
No.
There you go.
Scott Hudson and Don West break it all down for the show coming up next week. And then Raven requests a camera. They pitch it back to Raven. He discusses finding the barbaric Raven that he used to be. He declares his title aspirations for next week. He said, I looked and dusted off the old jean shorts and the leather jacket. And like I said, Truck, that's it. It wasn't anything other than that.
The moment has already passed. You're trying to salvage it, but it's,
Yeah.
The best we can hope for is that, there's a better build following this.
Yeah.
And that we don't see any more of these, tag matches with ECW originals who have to hobble their way down to the ring and can't do anything except blade.
Well, next week you have Sabu, is what he says. So coming. He says Sabu's back next week. That's
maybe one more week then.
This is before Sabu was really bad off, though. So, but you got Sabu next week. and now,
and that is the final week of CM Punk and De Niro.
Is it? Okay. Yeah,
that's the last one. Yeah. Because that's also the same week as Team Canada and Teddy Hart and all that stuff. Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, good, because this 5 weeks, 6 weeks has had absolutely no heat with me whatsoever.
Yeah, it's a great week.
And I just read something. I don't know if it was on the Wikipedia or whatever it was. CM Punk leaving it wasn't like a lot of people say it was because of the Teddy Hart fight. CM Punk actually says it has nothing to do with that.
I'm sure he's going to say that.
Well, he said, well, this also makes sense. He says it has to do with they were trying to create so much heat with CM Punk and De Niro with James Mitchell, and they felt like it just didn't get over. Well, we've been talking this whole time what this audience was like. If there was a different, if the audience from 2 months ago, and I know I just said this, but this is for a different thing now. If the audience from 2 months ago was there this whole time with the De Niro and Punk,
yeah,
it would have been nice. They would have kept Punk around.
I don't know.
I think I'm gonna say like this is where Sabin and I saying this. They had to fight the next week, dude. I'm sure he's going to say that.
Well, I'm just saying this crowd did not help De Niro.
You're absolutely right.
Trying to like, you want like, okay, let's get 1,000 people in this building and boo the hell out of James Mitchell and the young boys, De Niro and Punk, and it fell flat. I mean, we know what they were doing, and we appreciated it for what it was. I mean, I did, because Punk is, and I guess I'll say it, and I'll say it one more time, probably when we're talking about the last match that they have with Sabu or whatever. I've never seen Punk's run in TNA, so I totally appreciate this for what it's worth, and it proves to me that it's like, damn. So he went straight from this into the next year and a half in Ring of Honor, which became, his famous stuff with Samoa Joe, the Summer of Punk, that final run, the the following year, and it was just, man, it's just gold. And this, I tied this to that. This is part of it,
Sabin, I think he probably would have left anyway when the whole Feinstein thing goes down. They made him choose between TNA and Ring of Honor. So I agree. He probably would have, because he was a Ring of Honor.
That's true. I read that too. I just feel like if it was a different crowd, there would have been a different reaction.
Absolutely.
With these guys, surrounding that. But yeah, I'm sure that's all the Ring of Honor Feinstein stuff all had. None of that helped this situation.
That said, I'm sure getting your ass handed to you by Teddy Hart in a parking lot of a cafe didn't help either. But I digress. I'm sure that didn't help me.
I didn't know that happened, obviously, because I'm watching all these shows for the first time. But as soon as Scott said Teddy Hart's name, I knew this is not going to go well. So it doesn't surprise me at all that it didn't actually go, because that's what Teddy does.
It's not the first time he's on this show, though, because wasn't he on there like a few months ago?
Yes, he made an appearance a few months ago, earlier episode, and that was like a one and done. But now he's bringing him back as the captain, Team Canada.
Like in a featured spot.
Yes.
In what should be a pretty important match.
Remember, this is the one guy that it's been said repeatedly, he is one of the biggest wasted opportunities in professional wrestling history. He had a contract at 17 with WWE or something like that, 17 or 18. Complete prodigy, like can work to this day, work at that level. Has been sought after because of his talent, and then has literally fucked every opportunity up that he's gone through, and just personal shit. And there's something with him. I don't know what his issue is, but he definitely has burned every bridge possible. But incredible God-given talent, like just naturally can go in the ring. And we had him in AAW once or twice, and he was the nicest guy in the fucking world. Nicest fucking guy. I couldn't believe he had his cats with him and shit, and he was wearing a velour suit and his incredible promo. I was like, wow.
I was a huge fan of his when MLW came back over the last few years and really started to gain momentum and hit the Chicago, New York, Florida. So they would do like this circle on the whole east side of the they do Texas. They do this whole circle on the east side of the country. And it finally came to Milwaukee. You finally had the chance to meet the whole Teddy Hart, or the whole Hart the next Heart Foundation, whatever they were calling it, Heart Foundation 2.0 with Harry Smith and Pillman Jr.
Oh, yeah.
And those nicest guys for that meet and greet, and just didn't realize how fucked up Teddy really was at the time. But he was such a star in MLW. Just blew me away.
It's such a shame. It's such a shame. Truck, what's the Canadian input on Teddy Hart? The Canadian take on Teddy Hart here.
The Canadian take on Teddy Hart.
Well, I mean, it's authentic. He's one of yours.
That family is so fucked up.
Yeah, they are. If you read the book,
I mean, it fits completely.
Yeah,
with what we know, what the family was actually like now.
Yeah, I swear to you, the only sane one was Owen. Honestly, when you
and he never should have gotten involved in pro wrestling.
No, I don't think he wanted.
Not even just because of how it ended, but just no, this isn't for you, man. You have a different personality and different goals.
He was even him and his wife. And his wife is separate because she's like, I can't relate to these people. Like they were very.
And you work with these people. You can probably guess why she couldn't.
Absolutely, she's a very normal. I mean, I love how they made her the villain. Like she was like this weirdo. It's like, no, she's the.
And that's another. This is such a trashy family.
Yeah.
And I was a huge Bret Hart mark as a kid, and I guess I still am. But this is such a trashy family.
The fact that they made her in her husband's death made her like, you're the bad guy for not letting them print merch and do this and do that with his legacy. It's like, what the fuck?
That is monstrous.
It was monstrous. I mean, they literally made her the villain in all this. It's unbelievable to me.
Yeah, your husband and the father of your children are dead.
Yeah.
But
he was going to be a gym teacher, man. That's like the craziest part. Like the guy he did it to save his dad's promotion. Ended up being really good at it without fucking trying, essentially.
Or caring, really.
And caring. And fuck. Like the Owen thing.
And then you look at Bret and he's completely the opposite.
Completely.
Like Kevin Nash described him as like all of this is real for him.
Yeah.
He's really the champion.
Yeah. And Owen was completely different. Just wanted a regular life. The biggest heartbreak to me is I start talking about it. It kills me when I talk about it. I cannot fathom it still that it just that a guy like him is gone. You know, it just blows my mind. I'd love to do a little Patreon, just Owen talk one day. I could spend hours talking about it. He was such an amazing dude. Everything you hear about him in his death, it's just an incredible guy.
And that's what I hear from fans constantly. Yeah. And I feel bad that the only thing that I remember as a young wrestling fan was his Blue Blazer run. I loved the Blue Blazer. And it was shortly after that I pretty much stopped. And I don't remember what year that was that he did that. The first run before he unmasked.
89.
Was it 89? Okay, yeah. So it was shortly after that, like early 90s, that I really got away from wrestling for almost a decade, you know, give or take a little. Mm-hmm. Middle of the NWO stuff, Goldberg, that was when I really got back into it, WCW stuff. So his Owen's whole run and Bret's whole run, as far as their really good solo wrestling, I missed all of that.
Oh, tragedy, man. Definitely should do some kind of watch along some Owen stuff.
Oh yeah, you know, and I would love to like take some time and be like pick out like a handful of matches. Yeah. Like I don't even know if I've seen the whole Owen versus Bret match like all the way through. Great. I've seen clips.
Oh, well,
I don't know if I've ever watched
several really good ones. Their cage match is the only cage match I've ever seen that the guys actually work it to the rules.
Look who it is.
Like they're actually trying to win.
I was there live for that one.
Fuck off.
I was there.
Wait, which one?
SummerSlam '94 cage match. Me and my sister were there live with my mom.
Owen versus who?
Supposed to be Bret.
Oh, Owen versus Bret in a cage match.
It's supposed to be like my grandma was supposed to be with us, but she had to go back to the old country, and so my mom took us. It was awesome. I got the Bret glasses, and he signed those very glasses. They're on my wall right there.
Let's go get them.
Well, they're hanging on the wall. They're hanging on the wall. I'll show them on Patreon or something.
Right. There you go.
Sign up for the Patreon, everybody.
Yeah, you should. Or
Tier 3, get the rant. Get the rant.
I did a rant. I had one rant didn't upload last week and it was still sitting there pending. I was rant about coffee. I'll redo it. My whole great rant about coffee.
We're still learning.
He's got a rant up right now about our new Impact champion.
Is it still up or did they take it down? They take it down.
I think it's still up. Now that I've said it, it's probably not.
I don't know how long those
24 hours, I think. But let's get to the last match.
Yeah.
Start wrapping this one up.
Yeah.
Chris Harris getting a shot against Jeff Jarrett. I love Kid Kash in this match. So the match is great. I mean, Chris Harris is phenomenal. Again, this is the level up of Chris Harris here. But I love the story in this. That every time Harris got close, Kid Kash would threaten Rudy Charles, like, you're going to be fired if you count that 3.
My God.
It's great. It's a great story because every time it was a legitimate moment for Harris. He would be threatened with being fired. And then even Don is like, what would you do in this case? You can't blame Rudy. You know, it was so awesome.
The look on Rudy Charles' face.
It was great.
He's like,
I've seen Rudy.
Yeah. He go 1, 2, mid swing.
He's like, you're just right about that 3. Even the DQ when Jarrett belt shots Harris, and he's about there. He's like, don't you dare ring that bell. You're gonna. He's like, fuck. And like it was such a great story of the system is running the show here. You have no control.
Crazy.
It was so good. I love that. Crowd was a little more alive for this. I'll give them that much. I think maybe they were just still, I don't know. But you're right, Truck. A lot
of
the
ICP guys are gone. A lot of them.
So maybe I'm hearing the actual fans at this point, the same guys,
the ones who are paying to be there, not the papered ones.
The Juggalos are like they left after the match, so they were trying to like, you know, to okay, let's move the real fans over here now.
Yeah. Jarrett pins Harris, and that's it. But this will go on. This is not the end of Chris Harris. Jarrett goes on a microphone, like I guess on the mic, it goes on a tirade about the whole deal. And then Mike TNA comes out, and he said, "What are you doing? God damn it, TNA, you son of a bitch!" He's like, "You've been fired." He's like, "Well, I got rehired today by the new director of authority." And he goes, and here he ends up. By the way, TNA, leather jacket, pleated pants.
Because he's not commentator today. No, right now he's Heisenberg today.
It's Heisenberg today.
Oh my God, that's priceless.
Totally Heisenberg today. God, I wish meme culture existed during this era. He would have been, he is the guy. And a very clean shaven and looking great Vince Russo walks out, and he's the new director of authority. And there he goes.
That's it.
Looks 15 years younger.
Heisenbone. Yeah, he does. He looked great here, by the way. In shape. I didn't see this coming. I totally forgot this happened. Russo, and then they go off the air, fade to black. That's it. Interesting twist. And Jarrett's like, what the hell? You know, I didn't see that coming. I didn't think it was going to be Russo. I totally forgot about all this.
I'll tell you, I was like, I thought I had it pinned perfectly. I'm like, oh, Dustin Rhodes has been back the last few weeks.
Oh, really? The Dustin? Interesting.
No. I'm thinking out loud here. I'm like, Dustin Rhodes has been back the few weeks.
Okay.
Who would have helped him get that job? His dad.
His daddy.
What's his dad doing? Oh, his dad, Dusty Rhodes, is going to be the new DOA. That's what I was like. That just made sense to me.
Which he does become eventually, I believe. Dusty.
Yeah, later, right? It's like a year or two later on TV, which is hilarious because it's like a Russo versus Dusty Rhodes thing.
Yeah.
And then there was a clip I saw recently. I think it was actually part of the playing the clips during the Twitch watch along things. I think they actually played a clip where they had like 3 people trying to be the assistant for Dusty Rhodes, and it was Tracy Brooks, Trinity, and Johnny Fairplay, and they were all trying to do something like it was like an egg hunt or whatever you call it.
Yeah, I remember that. They're Dusty sitting on his like truck with like a bale of hay and stuff.
Yeah, he's looking like the pimp in the back of the truck. Like, all right, go find this.
It was funny. It was funny. I enjoyed that stuff. That was good times. But that's the show, guys. So Russo, I didn't see it coming. I'm interested in seeing how they tie this back with the Russo and Jarrett thing. So again, fun. It's a fun year. There's a lot of stuff going on in 04. A lot of new debuts about to happen too. But that is number 82, folks. And so thank you again. Sorry about the whole start stop thing. You can definitely direct all your hate to Mark World Order over on Twitter and let him know how he fucking ruined your momentum, ruined our momentum tonight. So the old start was taken. We got about 20 minutes into the initial broadcast. That's down. This is the final version of 82 right here. So go ahead and share this around as you do. But thank you guys for listening. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us and sticking around after that. But let's get some plugs in here, and then we'll get the show plugged. Remember, if you're watching on YouTube, give the video a quick like. Subscribe to the page if you're not already subscribed. Twitch, give the page a sub, a follow, cheer some bits. Because Amazon Prime, you get a free sub. Do that, please. Check that out. But Truck, where can people follow you?
You can find me on the Twitter at truck_rockpack. But mostly you can find me on the Discord. And if you aren't already in the Discord, I hope you will join it. Every Tuesday, we do a watch-along of whichever NWA episode we're watching. So 2 hours before we did this review, we did number 82 live on the Discord. It's a good way, if you've never seen them before like me, and if you just want to relive them, it's good. It's nice to have a bit of a crowd. So check that out.
Yeah, definitely enjoy that. It's a way to hang out with people and watch it. So definitely jump. Discord link is in the description of the video below, guys. It's
very active, and we talk about pretty well every company, actually.
Everything. There's a room for everything in there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, there's music, there's a bunch of different wrestling stuff, there's like miscellaneous, there's a sports channel, there's a treehouse for the patrons, there's all sorts of stuff. It's actually been pretty tame. I mean that in a positive way, you know.
No drama. Yeah.
Truck, I want you to create a room on the Discord. Relationship advice. I want to get in there and give, with my success rate, you know, in the relationship department of things, I want to get in there and give relationship advice. And I would.
Sorry, wait, no, you are going to give relationship
absolutely
advice.
Me. Actually, we could all do it, Truck. You have the most success out of all. J-Bone's fucked everything up. You know, J-Bone, you're no better than I am, just because you've managed to keep Mrs. J-Bone for another couple, you know, a little bit now, but who knows? I can't. You know, eventually she's leaving you too, J-Bone.
Trent, you're the only disaster here.
You're gonna run her off, J-Bone. I'm the fucking disaster. But J-Bone, you're no better than me. You admitted you were a fucking snake too back in the day.
I was because I just, you know, my loins were out of control. Now I've reached a point where I love the companionship. She's a great woman. She gets me. I mean, what other woman, you know, when your husband is having a shitty week, he lost his internet, he lost his cable, he can't do shit, phone's not worth shit, and she goes out and gets you a bunch of fucking action figures. I mean, what woman does that? I mean, that's just...
He should be given the relationship, but I'm not getting any of this. Not that I want AEW action figures, but I'm not. But that's awesome. That is Mrs. For anybody who hasn't had the pleasure of meeting Mrs. J-Bone, she is a very lovely and very talented woman, J-Bone. But she's still gonna get rid of your ass eventually. She's too good for you, Bone. She's too good.
She is. I don't know how
you're done.
She hasn't left me yet. You know?
Anyway, J-Bone's got a decent record, better than mine. Truck's, you know, golden. Mark's got the hot wife. I'm the disaster, but I think I, despite the fact that you guys have a great record, I should be giving the relationship advice. It'd make for great comedy, Truck. Think about that.
I would like to hear what you think should be done.
Okay,
I would love to hear that.
All right, we're gonna work.
I also want the nurse. I want the nurse involved.
Absolutely not. At least they keep her away. I don't
need
need
to send her a DM. I'm gonna slide into her DMs and get a request.
So it's, instead of like Dr. Phil, it's Dr. Trent.
Yeah.
About as legitimate too.
I'm such a fucking ego. I was like, man, I would go to get a doctorate degree just so I can walk around and demand people call me doctor.
It is pretty great.
Yeah, do you have a doctor, Truck? Are you a doctor? Are you a doctor, Truck? Holy shit, you are? Another layer peeled back onion, J-Bone, huh? Fucking got a doctorate. He's the smartest guy in TNI.
No.
Amazing.
What do you have a degree in, Truck?
Yeah, what's your degree besides being awesome? He's out of here. He's out of here.
He's like, nah, you're not getting that.
Truck Rock Pack on Twitter, guys. Get him on there. J-Bone, we're going to follow you, man.
You can find me over in that other little podcast called Smash This Podcast, where we're smashing all things wrestling. So, yeah, this is going to be a crazy week for Smash This Podcast, trying to keep up with everything. News, rumors. It's a big week for AEW, so I'm covering all that. The CM Punk comeback. Emergence is coming up at the end of the week, and I know I'm going to miss some of it live. I just don't know how much, but I'm still going to be covering all of it eventually, so patience, folks. Friday is going to be a little cuckoo, but I'm here for all of it. Can't wait. You can find that on YouTube and Twitch and all the socials, the Facebotch, the Twitter box, and the Instanet. And for your bone on the go, the audio portion of Smash This Podcast, you can find it at anchor.fm/Smash This Podcast.
Now, Truck, would you get back on here, please? You're insulting me now. I hear you. Just get back. Thank you. This is ridiculous. Guys, you can get me at Transberry over on Twitter, Hemi Music on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. Also, the BSB Show, the Backstage Boys Podcast. I also do that. This show at We Talk Impact, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Just type in Total Nonstop Impact. We come right up. And just you go ahead and give us a follow on all the social media platforms, all audio platforms, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon. Rate, review, and subscribe. If you have iTunes, Apple Podcasts, give the show a quick rating. Give it a 5. Give it a quick rating. Big thanks to our international listeners who keep this going on the international. We're always in the international charts. I really appreciate it. Uganda, again, coming through. So big thanks to the people in Uganda. The Impact fans out there listening to us, we really appreciate that, guys.
We love Uganda.
We sure do. ProWrestlingTees.com/Total Nonstop Impact and Patreon.com/We Talk Impact. 3 tiers, bonus content, all over the place, rants, bonus shows, Sunday dinner, after dark, all sorts of shit is going on Patreon. So connect on Patreon. It's there's very affordable tiers. It's month to month. If you like what we do, you want to support the show at the same time, get more content. It's a great way to do all that. So, it's I know some people want. We've given some free samples. We've given some samples out. So check out the samples. If you like that, consider joining it and checking us out. Twitch.tv/Total Nonstop Impact. Go ahead and follow and subscribe, please. Amazon Prime members, you get a free sub every month. YouTube.com/Total Nonstop Impact, and you can do the super chat, J-Bone? Super chat,
stickers, all that stuff. It's I'm still learning this. It's similar to Twitch. It's
So show schedule real quick. Every Tuesday is Time Machine Tuesday, NWA-TNA Throwbacks. Next week will be number 83. We're going all the way to 111 in the Asylum, so 83 is next week. That's every Tuesday. Wednesday, TNI UK, noon Central, U.S. time, 6 p.m. UK time. Bison, Joe, and Steve do a quick breakdown of the week prior to Impact, preview Impact and Access TV coming up for this week. Any other news, breaking news, they break it all down. And they have some great guests. They've gotten some really unique guests, including Jade Chung, who we talked about. So go check out their archives as well. Thursday is the flagship show, Impact and Access TV watch along reaction. And we don't do a Twitch watch along anymore because they're off of Twitch. So no more watch along or co-stream. Now it is a reaction watch along. Well, are you doing the reaction watch along, Jay, or is that up? Or am I speaking out of turn here?
No, I'll do it if I'm around, and it's usually me and Bill and Truck.
Okay.
Or it's usually if not all 3 of us, it's usually 2 out of the 3, depending on who's busy on the road, whatever. Thursday I should be around for all of it. So
right.
So it's and it was kind of decided that the watch along live reaction was going to, not the co-stream, but because now it's just a live reaction, that it was kind of a test phase just to see how it would do with it. But the numbers are decent from what I could tell. So it's only been a few weeks now. I think it'll make it like a final decision in like a couple months, like post Bound for Glory. We'll make it like a final decision, like if we're gonna keep it or dump it. But so far so good. So
yeah, it's not doing too bad. You guys look like you want somebody to hang out with and watch a show with, so definitely do that, please. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's no longer like an actual co-stream anymore, so that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's a hangout at this point, but
it's where we built so much of our audience. So we really wanted to keep it going in some way, shape, or form.
You should also do it to Twitch too, though, Jay. You know, keep broadcasting to Twitch also, not just YouTube.
We do.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah,
cool. And then, guys, after that's over, it's the post show, Impact Access TV post show. They talk BTI, it's Impact, all the breaking news. J-Bo, Mark, Truck, Bill's on, Alicia. I am no longer on that show. I'm only here on Tuesdays and then Patreon stuff, so you can only catch me here. If you like what you see with me, catch me here. But on Thursday, they all got it handled. The post show is doing really well, so thank you guys for keeping that flowing.
You know, you might want to bring you back for at least a little bit of the main show. There's kind of a throwback going on. You know,
with Christian Cage.
Yeah, you like that Christian Cage?
Did you watch his rant? Did you listen to his rant, Jay?
I did. That's why I'm just fucking with him. I'm lovingly needling him.
Thank you very much. But check that out, guys. The team does a great job with that. I will pre-record my my closing here, though, Jay, for you guys, because I caught it here. Like, I don't do the close like Trent does. Just follow us everywhere. Fuck it. Just follow us. We're gonna get out of here. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I do this huge close and plug everything in. I'm gonna need you to practice this, Jay.
I love doing this. I'm horrible at promotion.
That's why I'm at the I'll do a pre-recorded video. You can put it into the videos and just play it. You know,
hey guys, it's Trent.
That'll keep me involved on the show. Hey guys, this is your video close for the total amount.
Yeah, you got J Bone's news, and this is how we keep Trent involved, and this is how we keep him paid. He just
I do like radio announcer voice. Like, don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at We Talk Impact. I'll do all that whole deal. Well, I'll pre-record something. You can play me at the end of every show. That's a good idea. It's a good idea, Chad. But go ahead.
Oh, and speaking of that, I know I have to. We thank our Patreons, who have signed up again and or bumped up their Patreon tipping to us. It's we thank you very much. I know I have to make a new video, and we're behind on some of the extra stuff that we put on the Patreon for like reviews and stuff. So the second half of the month, Mark and I said we're going to discuss this soon, set up a schedule, and try to figure out what we're going to do, for our lovely Patreons the rest of the month, because we got to put out a few new shows.
Yeah, we owe them a couple after darks, I think, too. So let's get that. We'll get that going for you guys. You'll have a bunch of new content coming. And I do want to do a little Owen talk too. I'll put that up. We'll do that on the Patreon. That'd be fun. So yeah, I'll pop in on Patreon and do a bunch of bonus stuff. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
Other than that, guys, and that's gonna do it. So join the team UK tomorrow. They'll be on main show Thursday, reaction and post show, and all breaking news and everything. But that's it, guys. Anything else?
Trent, I will pray for your neighborhood on Friday that your city doesn't implode.
I'm sure we'll be fine.
Please ask the person at the grocery store, did you get Rampage tickets? Please ask at least one person between now and Friday.
Okay, I will do that. I will. I am going to see Between the Buried and Me on Friday. I'll be at that.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Cool.
BT Bam on Friday with the Hemi Boys. We're going to go to that. So I've never seen them. My guitarists are huge fans, and we bought these tickets months ago. So
I think I've heard of them.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar, but my two guys are big fans, and they're like, hey, you should check them out because we get a lot of inspiration from. I'm like, great, let's do it. So we going to BT Bam on Friday. So I won't be anywhere near Rampage at all. So I'll find out. I'll ask the ticket. Hey, it's kind of funny. I'm here instead of at Rampage. Am I right?
No. At All Elite Wrestling Rampage featuring CM Punk.
Yeah. Like, is that the video game?
See if you get any kind of reaction with that.
The comeback of the decade. Am I right?
Like, is that the video game with the King Kong and the lizard and the fucking coyote Rampage? Fucking
Oh yeah, Rampage.
Rampage.
Yeah. I
Great.
haven't thought about that in years. That was a good game.
You know what?
It's a great movie too with The Rock.
You know, has a full Rampage arcade machine. Adam Impact, a full Rampage arcade machine in his house. But anyway, let's get out of here, boys. Thank you all again for joining us. Thanks for sticking around with the hiccup earlier today. Blame Mark at Mark World Order on Twitter. Let him know he's a fucking asshole for what he did to us earlier today.
Call him a degenerate.
Total degenerate.
Total
all right,
degenerate.
guys. We're out of here. See everybody tomorrow. TNI UK. Take care, everybody. Good night.